Mel Gibson.
And those stairs are treacherous. Yeah, Desmond Doss was a man who believed that war was justified, but did not believe in taking another's life. He was the only American soldier in World War II to never fire a single shot or to even carry a gun, and yet somehow managed to save 75 men on the battlefield and win the Medal of Honor. What we hear is just as important as what we see in the extraordinary true story of Hacksaw Ridge. In the midst of the booming sounds of war, we need to hear one man not engaging in attack the same way everyone else does. I'd like to thank Andy Wright, Kevin O'Connell, and Robert McKenzie for beautifully crafting the soundscape of this very important story and present to them the Hamilton Award for sound mixing. While Andy and Robert couldn't be here tonight, Kevin will be accepting on behalf of them all. Please give these genius guys a huge round of applause. Kevin, where are you? There.
Thank you. I'll bet you were expecting a much older guy. I'd like to thank the fine folks at Hamilton Watches for honoring myself, Rob, and Andy tonight with this award. It's always exciting when I get to work on a Mel Gibson award, a Mel Gibson show, whether we're crucifying Jesus and nailing him to a cross, chopping the heads off of innocent villagers and rolling it down the stairs of a Mayan temple, or in this case, French frying Japanese soldiers until they're a golden brown. It's always a thrill working with Mel. You know, Mel puts his heart and soul into everything he does, and in one of the scenes in Hacksaw Ridge, there's a moment after the first battle where Andy and Luke Bracey are stuck in a foxhole at nighttime. It's really quiet, and suddenly they're surprised by a Japanese soldier. And the idea was to shock the audience when the Japanese soldier pops his head over the berm. We couldn't quite come up with the right sound in either sound effects or in music. So we looked to Mel, and Mel looks at us and says, "I'll give it a try." So we said, okay. So we ran the film for Mel, and just as the Japanese soldier popped his head up over the berm, Mel goes, well, trust me, we put that sound into 56 speakers around the room, and when we played it, it scared the shit out of all of us, too. There's one more little anecdotal thing I'd like to share with you guys. And for those of you who may be unfamiliar with what sound mixing and sound editing for motion pictures is, and in Hacksaw Ridge, the battle scenes, 90% of the production track was unusable. With the exception of only some of the dialogue, every single sound in those battle scenes have been stripped out and replaced. The reason for this is that the guns are actually movie props, they sound more like cap guns, and the explosions sound more like firecrackers. They're designed to look cool, but they really don't sound cool. Every single gunshot, explosion, ricochet, flamethrower, battleship cannon, and every single footstep has been replaced with period-correct, authentic recordings and then carefully stitched into place into the fabric of the soundtrack by the talented men and women of the sound team. If they've done their job right, you should feel like you're right there in the battlefield with those soldiers. I'd like to thank Tommy McCarthy, my good friend Dan Sharp, and the entire gang at Sony Studios for all of their support, and a special thanks to all of the folks down at Sound Firm in Australia. To my co-workers Rob and Andy, who used every creative bone in their bodies to help you feel like you are right there on that battlefield in Okinawa. To Bill Mechanic and David Permit, thank you for your tireless effort to bring the story of Desmond Doss to the big screen. And to Mel, thank you for inviting me back to work with you once again on this incredible film. That would not have been so incredible without your efforts. You are truly one of the greatest storytellers of our time, and this movie is a testament to your strength, your willpower, and your conviction. To my two sons, Cooper and Casey, thank you for being so understanding when Daddy has to work so many late nights and weekends. And a special thank you to my lovely wife, Heather, for managing all the madness of our lives and being so supportive of me and my career. Thank you all very much.